We have together on this Millennial Sunday. I thank you for what you have put forth. I ask you that you lay your hands on this forum right now in your mighty name, on this discussion. In your mighty name, Heavenly Father, let's keep your word in order and let everybody be full of information, that we may get information and not be lost as we go out. In your mighty name, Heavenly Father, I ask you that you just lay that Holy Spirit on this room right now in your mighty name, Heavenly Father. We thank you in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 And we have a mature group in here, so we're going to discuss. It may get raw. I know everybody. Sometimes we still religious in here. I know some of us are still religious. And we get the old face. But yet y'all home doing all this other stuff. I don't understand it. We watch whatever on TV. We look at everything. As soon as you come in and say something about something, they get off. They go, I'm like, come on, y'all. You should be the same 24/7. Am I right? All right. Thanks. All right, now you can start us off with our first topic.
Okay, our first topic is how to balance.
No, that's not it. I'm sorry. Go to the second.
Okay. First topic is that how to date and serve God. How to date and serve God.
I know that's a topic. You know, people, even adults, single adults, we have I don't know why we put it in such a separate category, right? Because when you date someone or go on dating, it's a term of just going out with someone or meeting somebody at a certain time. You go to the website, that's basically dating. Meet somebody at a certain time. That's what the dating is. But we have turned into dating, right, in today's culture. But that's all the word means is I met somebody at a certain time, right? And it's just that simple. But we take it as it's like a taboo. If I serve God, how am I have a relationship? But His word is all in His word. That's what God put us here for. We're supposed to have relationships. You understand? Because, and to me, now I'm going on my opinion. This is wrong. We take dating as sex. Soon as you say I'm going on a date, then everybody draws coming off. That's the first thing in our mind. Y'all can sit there and say it's not, it's the truth. Yeah, come on, let's be for real. That's what y'all think. I go on a date, somebody draws got to come on. No, it doesn't. Okay, because I don't know why we can't have a discussion. I can't sit with another grown adult, right, female, okay, and we can't have a discussion. We can talk about any topic in the world, right? And you say, well, no, you can't because you're going to have lots. That's our next topic. We're going to go into that. But I'm like, no, if you serving God, right? I'm going to say, if you serving God, and God is your Savior, and you are dedicated to God, because God comes first before the other, you know what I'm saying, for the other person. Once I bring God into that, and we're supposed to bring God into everything we do, I bring God into going meeting that person on that time of day. Right? And it's not corny and it's not being holy. God will take control of it. Because neither one of us are taking our drawers off. We're not going to the back to the car. We're not going to get a hotel room. Because that's the first thing we think about. You know what I'm saying? We go right to sex. And that's our main thing. Sex is a beautiful thing. Just like I said, it's like a fire in the fireplace. And I heard this pastor say it, which was so good. And it's contained. And it's so beautiful. It's warm. It's right there. But as soon as you let it wild out, just like the forest fires in California, it will destroy it. But we take it and we can't do it. We can serve God and still go out with a person from the opposite sex and have meaningful conversation and get to knowing each other. Because if you want to date someone, there should be a purpose for that. If you're just doing it just to have sex, because I need that fulfill that moment of pleasure, you know what I'm saying? There's women and men. It's not just men. If I need that, I'm dating him, then I'm gonna see, I need that right then and there, then your purpose is all wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Your purpose is out. And I know, and I'm not saying this is not just for millennials, this is older single. You know what I'm saying? Older single. Because we cannot We don't understand that it's not sin. You're not committing a sin by going out with someone. You know what I'm saying? You're not going out to dinner, going out having a little drink, going out having a discussion. That's not. Now, unless your mind is ran somewhere else, then that's on you. But that's not committing a sin, and God is not looking at you.
I mean, I agree. I just think it just starts in the mind. I know it's been a minute, but I do recall dating. And when you say, like, in your mind, like, all right, I'm gonna get to know this person. If you really like that person. Like, I don't know why we waste time with stuff if we're not really interested. If you already know you're not interested, they went to some to the ladies. I don't know how the guys do, their minds are different. But you already know initially whether that's something that you think you can kind of deal with. You talk to them apparently if you're ready to go on a date. I mean, they do those little 30-second speed dating and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about that because I need to know who you are, I need to know your character. I just need to see how you react in certain situations and how you respond to stuff. Can you, talk regular schnack, or you gonna be extra when you talking to me? Is it just me you talking to like this, or do you do this with everybody? How do you deal with your family members? How do you talk to other women? Like you smiles at everybody? I need to, that's the piece I needed to see. So, if you already know, let's not waste our time on foolishness. Stop. And that's old. I know the younger ones, you hop around, you do what you do. But again, to me, it's still wasting time. You waste time. If you don't have a purpose in it, then why are we doing it? You don't really need that in your life. So it really starts in your mind as to where you want to go with this relationship. So I totally agree with Pastor Rob. It's in your mind. Wherever your mind is, that's what's going to happen in that situation, or where the situation will go, where it'll take you. And so, that's my comment on that. So it's all in the mind. If we thinking he won't get my drawers tonight, then he won't get your drawers tonight. That's what it's gonna be. But if we just gonna talk, we gonna have dinner, and I'm gonna learn him, and he gonna learn who I am, then that's what we gonna do tonight. You know what I mean? And that's where it goes.
I think it also builds on who you are and how you feel about yourself. And then it goes back to respecting yourself, because your body is your temple. And even though he may have a different mindset on where he wants it to go, it's up to you to say yes or no, because you know who you are. And at the end of the day, when he does bring that up, he will respect you more by saying, no, that's not the type of person I am. I have to get to know you more. I have to get to know you better before I allow you to invade my private space, my temple. So it's all about respect. Because at the end of the day, when you walk away, when it's all gone, and when it's all done, and you did it, how are you going to feel? And is he going to call you back the next day? Because now he treats you like any other female. So it's all about knowing who you are and having respect for yourself. So when you get him from that table, and you get in his car and you get in your car, yes, we can talk again. Because now the next conversation we have is going to be on a whole other level. Because that guy or that female, whoever you may date, is going to respect you more.
That's good stuff. I agree with what everyone has said thus far. I definitely think it is definitely where your head is, and also how you feel about yourself and where you are with your self-esteem. And it really goes back to just kind of being honest with yourself and knowing who you are. If you know you're not really built, this is an interesting time to date. Let me just say that. As somebody that has dated.
I feel sorry for myself.
I feel sorry for myself. Okay? Y'all don't have to feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for myself. This is a very interesting time to date. With social media and just all this stuff that's wrapped up into it. Everybody, they want booty pics, they want all this stuff.
Right.
This is normal dating now? What happened? What happened to just hooking up to go have dinner and have a conversation and really getting to know each other?
You got lost that word too.
What's that?
You said hooking up.
Well, excuse me, connecting.
Yeah, you guys.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Some word just go to the left. And it's I like the engaging piece. piece of getting to know someone, connecting with them, going to dinner. Because I'm a very personable person, so I love to laugh, and I'm very touchy-feely, and because I like to hit people. I mean, I think it has everything to do with the fact that I have this identical twin sister, so I'm used to that connection. You get what I'm saying? But even that, people can take it wrong when they don't know me. They're like, oh, she ain't real friendly. So, I think what it all boils down to is just know yourself and be honest with yourself. Because if you feel like you are not built to date in this day and age, like if you can't handle all of that, you might just kind of need to sit still for a second. For real. And just be honest with yourself, because you can end up putting yourself in a trick bag. I remember saying years ago, oh, I can do that, and I'm not gonna go home with him. Or, hey, yeah, that's fine. I'm strong enough to do that. And I was lying to myself, because then I would be swinging from the chandelier and be like, why then? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. But I got to a point where I realized that's not my strength. Hold your horses. Sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm in a place where I'm mature, and now I can go and have a conversation and that not be a worry for me, if you understand what I'm saying. But it took some time, but you gotta be honest with yourself. And all of that ties into what's been said thus far. Yeah.
My question is, do you think people are confusing dating and relationship, or are intertwined in today's time? Dating and relationship.
Today? Yeah. Yeah, it's all the same plane today. Intertwined is not the word. It's just one today.
So
you're in a relationship, basically. The mindset of the millennial today is completely different. Think about it. You guys, I'm gonna say it, be free right fast. I'm gonna say it. Okay, and your time, right, and when you guys were dating, it was different. You had courtship, all those things. Now it's just right to it. Like Elder said, the maturity level plays a key part in relationships today, especially when dealing with stuff. You know you're serving God, and this person will attempt to do all these things here. But if your maturity level isn't there, you're gonna fall prey to a lot of stuff. Like Elder said, this touchy thing here. Believe it or not, when we first met, you hit me and rubbed my shoulder, and I felt some type of way, not gonna lie. But my maturity level was there to know that this is how she felt, showing that she loved you and she accepted you and could serve you. You can't do that today. You touch somebody today, you're gonna get cut, right? You get cut, a lawsuit, also go the other way, right? It switches up, so that intertwined thing for me, in my opinion, my personal opinion, it's on the same playing field here. But you have to have to differentiate those two things, relationships and dating. It's totally different when you think about it on a molecular level. If you break it down that way, you can break it down to two different things, but only if you have the maturity enough to do so. We weren't taught that. We were taught the social media way, the hookup, right? The hookup. Please be careful. Please be careful with the word hook up, people. It means something different in 2019. Hook up, as Pat said, means your drawers just came off. Right? Thank you.
Wait a minute, now you guys, hold on a second.
Well, it's like when someone has a mature mindset in this day of time, it's kind of hard to find someone with the same type level of maturity of that mindset because of social media. Without social media, a lot of people will be so much more mature, and because they see this and that happening, they're like, oh yeah, that's cool because they're doing it, and they're doing it. So it's hard to find that type of person, because you could say something, they'll take that the wrong way. Like, oh yeah, we're definitely going somewhere tonight. No, that's not.
Just to feed off of what Marcus and I was saying, it's like social media does play a lot of roles in most people's relationship. Like if you go on social media, everybody want to be the latest relationship goals. Like they want to be the next Obamas, they want to be the next Beyonce and Jay-Z. They don't think they don't think about how they went to get to where they at now to be the relationship goals. Everybody just quickly be like, oh yeah, I like you, oh yeah, you're cute. We gonna be the next relationship goals. That's just how it is nowadays. So.
I just want a quick statement, real quick. I think it all stemmed, and then we don't go back to the word of man. We don't go with the word about the relationships or marriage or anything like that. We go on what we've seen and what we assume. Because I think a lot of times what we do is, like you said, we base getting, relationship, we base it off as a fad. Like, I'm gonna do what they did because that looks nice, so let's do this for a fad. And like Robin said, we don't get to know each other. And I blame it on the men. Because men, even in the churches, have not stood up and took their position to be who they're supposed to be. Because we have set back and the women take control. No, God has set that forth like that. And this is not male chauvinistic, it's in the word. We set the tone for that. Because y'all ladies are our prizes, right? But first of all, God has made you in a certain way. We are visual. We look at you. That's physically, I'm attracted. You know what I'm saying? I'm attracted to you. The way you dress today is based off a male. A man made high heel shoes. A man made tight dresses. A female didn't make that. You understand what I'm saying? If you go back in history. Men did that because we desired, and that's supposed to look sexy, and we did that to appeal to a man's eye. We never took our rightful place, especially as black men. We never took it and said, stop, and now we're going to respect you. You know what I'm saying? As the queen you are. And y'all may say, well, that sounds so far-fetched. No, but it's the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Because if we would get in order and change our mindsets, even if the female is thinking about drawers coming off, we control it. We can stop it. Now I can sit here and talk to you and tell you this is what I want and this is what I'm looking for as a mature adult. And now you trust my conversation and you trust me. You understand? Now we're going to have that connection. Now I'm getting to know you. You know what I mean? Like Robert was saying, nobody gets to know anybody no more. It's all a facade. Let me give you the facade front part. I want you to know me 100%. I want you to know me. I want to know Robin without the makeup. You know what I'm saying? Without the look, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, Robin, she's great without that. But y'all know what I'm saying? Without the high heel shoes, I need to get to know you. And that's the way I was growing up. And I want to get to know you as the person you are. Not the outside appearance, because the outside appearance you can go somewhere else and another outside appearance. You can go over here and get an outside appearance. But I need to know you, where your heart at and where's your mind at. You understand what I'm saying? So now we can build and grow together. And I'm going to give you, because every time, even when me and Robin went out, I'm plain talking. I never did facade talking. You know how you go on a date and these dudes talk? You understand what I'm saying? Stop BSing me. Well, you gonna get some chicken wings and you gonna get your face dirty? So now we can talk about what happened, this and that, and we can be 100% authentic with one another. You know what I'm saying? So now you can be, when you're around me, now be relaxed. You ain't gotta be on tension. I gotta look this way because he ain't gonna like me if I'm gonna do this. That's BS. Because if I want you and I like you, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you got tummy, stretch marks, whatever, I don't care none of that. Because I see what I like and this is what I want. You understand what I'm saying? And as men, we haven't done that. We put on facades and we look at, because we ignorant. It's ignorant mindset. We look at other things and say, yeah, I want this because my friend gonna see me with her, so he gonna think I'm somebody and this and that, this and that. No, if I like this type, this look attracts me and God is, you know what I'm saying? Then that's what it is. I don't care what anybody else is saying. But you have to, like I was saying, you have to know who you are, the maturity level in that. You got to bring God in the first regardless. And I did that with Rob because I wanted to make sure this is right because I had been in hell prior. And so what I had been in before, I already had red flags and the little warning signs. It was already sitting in my head. So if I hear anything of that come out of her mouth, which is wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Which is wrong because we do that with other people. Anything, come on, now I'm shut you off. You know what I'm saying? But no, I need to find out where she at, where her head at. What's her background? We don't, as men, we don't do that. We just look at the outside appearance when I'm getting the drawers. And people don't understand this, and we take sex today so lightly. Everything is about sex. God made that such a beautiful thing. We have turned it into such a disgusting and horrific thing. He put that together with men and women to get together, right? That's the most intimate thing you can share with another individual. You understand what I'm saying? We all mature here. That's the most intimate thing that you could do to connect with another individual. And we have taken it like a wildfire, and we just heels in the air, we draws off, blah, 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 blah. Now we sitting here just as dumbfounded and cuckoo as Cocoa Puff, because you have let somebody enter into you, or you have entered in someone else, and now all that mess you just pull it. I pulled all that junk. Now all that junk is on me. And now I'm bringing that junk to her. I'm bringing that, you understand what I'm saying? And people say, you be a virgin, that's corny. No, that's beautiful. Because now I don't have all that baggage and all that mess, all the spirits that I just set forth and laid on me, or I done laid on them, and we have connected. Now I'm bringing that towards them. What you think gonna happen to that relationship? And then you fighting and fussing and hell is breaking loose, because all of that mess that you done gathered up like a dustpan on your journey of life, and you bring all that dirt and then boom. This is all my mess here. Ryan, I dump all my mess right there on you. Now you can dump my mess on me. Now we together. I'm not putting the examples right here. And now we together and we just pile a mess with everybody else's mess. But I love you. We're gonna work this out. Do we see that? And when God ain't in nowhere, because the mess is piled up and it's dirty. You understand? Because you bring in everybody else's mess. People don't understand that. I don't know why we have gotten that, and sexuality is so high today. Like, I'm just going to hook up with him. That's just going to be my hookup man right quick. But right quick, he done hooked up with other people. Now, he didn't insert, you didn't think about this. That man inserts into you.
Come on. Mm-hmm.
So whatever garbage he has inserted it into you. And you just lay there and receive it. So you receive the garbage. Because now he don't respect you. Like you said, I don't respect you if you sit there and put your heels up. Because I've been out and women have said, you know, we can do this. I'm like, nah, I'm done with you. Because now as a man, because I'm an alpha, I want to hunt. I want to chase. Now if you lay there, then that ain't no hunt and chase. I don't want that because that ain't worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? As a man, that's why I see it. That's why I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. Because now you gonna give me a chance to work for it. You understand what I'm saying? Give me a chance to, you know what I'm saying, whine you or whatever and play my little game. But you're not doing that. You didn't gave, I don't want that because that ain't right. And that's where in the world, that's where I saw it at. And other men probably can attest to it. That's the way I saw it at. I didn't want nothing easy. Because that easy, that's trash. I need somebody to work for me. You understand what I'm saying? That's the world. But when I came to God, I put God in it and I said, okay. God, you got to clear all that stuff. Like I had the red flags, you got to clear that out. Because I can't put this on her. Because she had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't there. So now, God, that's gone. This is a clean slate. We ain't bringing no more dirt. And even like whatever she dealt with, you can't bring that dirt. Now we got a blended family, so we had baby mom and baby grandma. But we understood it was a clean slate. So now we could come together as a team. You understand what I'm saying? And work on that. Boom, boom, boom. We didn't have to fight amongst ourselves. Because that could cause a fight between us, an outside person coming in, the outside mess coming in, and that could have caused a situation. By bringing God in, and then God, cover it, then we could work together on it. And actually laugh at it every time it pop up. And not get mad about it, not get mad at, why you should have dealt with it. That's why you said stupid, you know what I'm saying? So none of that came up. Because we was right there together, and we not gonna let no outside interference come in and, you know what I'm saying, mess and disturb it. Yeah. And as men, and I know there's only a couple of men in here, as men, we have the power to control all of that. And not a control like you think, I control that woman. No, that's not it. Because I'm influential on Robin, even without even she knowing. You understand what I'm saying? Even what she wears and things she do. But we have to understand we are the heads of the house. You understand what I'm saying? And if I make you feel comfortable when you trust me, then it's right on. And I told a group of females that at work, because they said, well, men, I said, no, men, we are wrong. I said, we're wrong. It's not y'all. We are wrong. So if you don't trust me, then you're going to come in the house and fuss and fight at me. You don't trust nothing I say, nothing I do. I ain't paying no bills. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just low life. So how you ain't gonna do nothing for me? But if you trust me and trust my word and trust what I do, then you ain't fighting. You gonna do whatever. You gonna have the lingerie on when I come home. Dinner's cooked, all of that. Because now I feel comfortable. Now, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? And as men, we have lost that. We have lost that whole picture. We so confused. We always bring that crazy thing. She crazy. That's the reason. She's not crazy. That's all we said. That's all men said. She crazy. That was a reason. Because her dad, her mom, whatever, her uncle, whatever she's been around, has caused her to act in that manner. So you, as the man, you need to understand that. You know what I'm saying? And stop jumping on that. If she jumped on you, it's a reason. Because now she's attacking because the warning signs are in her head, that abuse or whatever she grew up with. Now she's so sparking you, now she's jumping on you. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to get that out of our head. We always say, men always say, and I hear all that, them women crazy, them women crazy. I said, because you made her crazy. All right, crazy. I said, because you made her crazy. Because you done cheated on her 7 times. What you think she's supposed to do? Come through out here sleeping with all these women. What you think she's going to come on back in the house? Be good. Like, how stupid are you? You understand? And when I say that, they look at me like, "Wow, you ain't a man." That's how I am 100%. You the jack. You understand what I'm saying? Because a man to please one woman, oh, that's work. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? To please one woman, because it changes daily. We have changed even as we got older. Do you know this? Yes. And men know this. Because our relationship, us as adults, we're two different people. But we change daily. I got to get to know her. I'm sitting at work wondering what she do, what she need, this and that. That's what men supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? So I got to get to know her. If she flick off, I got to shut my mouth. You understand? I got to know where she's coming from. And then I got to take it to God. Because the other day, she got my number on the phone. I'm on the phone. She said, I don't the phone up. I pushed the button on the steering wheel. She got on my nerve. She got on my nerve. She said something. You made me feel like, so I'm on the phone. I pushed the end button on the steering wheel. I don't get it. They went over to call me first. So I hung up. But I said, let me stop. I said, the devil trying to creep in and I'm going to take this to the house. So I prayed to God, boom, come to the house, please. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because that's what the devil will work up stuff. But as we grow and get older, then it changes. So I got to be aware of what's going on here. Some men don't, and men don't. They just say, you do woman like caveman type stuff. But no, we got to be in tune with one another. I could be in tune with this. And I didn't understand when people say marriage is work. It's not work. But if you dedicate to it, is this what you want? Oh, yes. But it's not hard. But I got to be in tune to her needs, what she wants, how she's feeling that day, how it is. Because God created y'all in a different manner than us. You understand what I'm saying? Your emotions is different. The way you see things is different. You know what I'm saying? You're a nurturing person. You need love. You need affection. We don't need love. I didn't get brothers. I need to be loved. You understand what I'm saying? Men only desire one thing. And I know it may sound hard. We just need sex. Y'all got what I'm saying? We don't need love. I don't need Robin to love me. I trust her. You know what I'm saying? So that's her there and affection. But I don't need it. I just need her being genuine. I need it. But I'm not saying that it's hard. But y'all understand what I'm saying? Okay, because we don't search for love. Men never search for love. And when somebody says, I need love, no, that's not true. You're not looking for love. I want that companionship, I want that person with me. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not what God didn't make us like that. God made y'all. You looking for love, you looking for affection, you looking for attention. Because y'all not looking for sex as the main course of your relationship. That's our main course. Men, can I raise my hand? Am I the only one? Ain't that the main course? Yeah, Marquise ain't saying that. That's the main course. That's right. That's our main course. But if if men, and if we don't make our women trust us, they can rely on us, and all that, then that ain't gonna happen. You understand what I'm saying? So we have gotten confused and twisted. We have turned it all into women crazy, women bashing. We control it. Men have control of it.
I wanted to comment on from a woman at my age dating and being in a relationship. And what I found is three things. I got to know the purpose. What's my purpose for being with you? Self-control is another thing, because that's a big thing. No matter, even though men have these women, we out there too. I'm just being honest, you know. And there was another one I just don't remember right now. But when I look at, and being honest, having honest communication, laying some ground rules, even though the men are in their head. If a man, I found for me, if a man knows where I'm coming from, if I say, look, we're not doing this, they know where I'm coming from if we're dating. Because then he'll know, well, then I want to show you because I'm not getting anything from you. Because you told me straight up, it's not going to happen. So once that's out there, they know. I just find at this age, honestly, I mean, after all we've been through at this age, just be honest. Either we're going to do it or we're not going to do it. Either we're going to be in a relationship or we're not going to be in a relationship. What you looking for, I can't give you, so it's time to move on. I found that out. You know, and being honest, and like Barbara was saying, who are you? Who am I? Who are you? What are you about? I got to know that. Because at this age, I want to know, what are you about? What are you talking about? Are you growing into something? Are you moving into something? Or are you still thinking of a 20-year-old's mentality as a 50-year-old man? I don't want that. So those are the things that I found out in dating and being in a relationship. And the biggest thing I found out was the purpose. And yes, incorporating God into it, because now, for me, for what I've been through, it was a purpose. So now, God, what are you saying about this relationship? That's what I ask. Who is this? Why are we together? Why did you bring us together? There's a purpose why I met this person. So what is it that we need? What do I need to know about him? So he'll know where I am, and I'll know where he is. Do you plan on serving God? Do you serve God? What's our purpose? What are we going to do? Is there kingdom work for us to do together? That's what I found out. And I'm thankful, you know, with the self-control piece, you really have to work at that, because we're flesh. So I found that you really have to work at that. But thank God for his forgiveness. If you mess up, you mess up. God forgives you and you move on. That's what I found out. So it's important for us as women at our age to know who we're dealing with. What is our purpose? Is this person going to be in my life long-term, short-term? Do I have an assignment? Those are the things that I found out. And that's what I wanted to share.
So the checklist though, when you're with someone or you're dating, relationship, whatever it is, right? Just you have to get rid of your checklist though, because if he doesn't say this and if he don't say this, then I'm already checking out. Like, yeah. So most of the time, and I can say this strongly. It's not going to look like what you want it to look like. That thing that come looking like something you probably would never look at is the one that's doing everything and got it together. You understand? And he may not be, you know, spiritually connected and, you know, but his actions speak louder. So you can kind of see his nature. You can see this, you know, okay, oh my, you know, he has a heart, maybe, you know, he cares a bit about how I think. Like you can already tell, and you know, just going out with him the first day, you can already tell kind of like where his mind is and where his heart may be sitting. But that checklist you gotta get rid of, because he may come in there looking like a little something else, but he got everything else going on, and he gonna love your dirty bag. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and it don't even matter, right? But he gonna love it. He gonna love it. He gonna love it. He may have a little tongue. You know what I'm saying? He gonna, I mean, he may, but guess what? So you. That's what I'm saying. Why are you looking for these chiseled dudes and you sit there looking very? You got don't do that to yourself. You just need to be honest with what you know with God. Like, because we are connected to God the way we are, you do your part. You pray and ask God to send that person to you and be open. You gotta be open, because he'll walk right past you and you just, well, he's too short. He's too fat. And I don't like his job. You know, or what have you. So just get rid of the list. Sharon was first, I think.
Pretty much, Sonia covered a lot of the stuff, and you just did too. But I was going to say what Pastor you were saying, that everybody was saying it starts with the mindset, and it does. So when you're going out and you're dating or you're courting or whatever you want to call it, and you should set standards. I feel like women don't, not a checklist, but there are certain standards that we should set as a woman of God. And we should look for those things. They may not be that 100%, but there are red flags to say, hey, that's not the one. I mean, God will raise those red flags up, but we tend to sometimes overlook those red flags, or we turn our backs to them, or we say, well, maybe it's going to change. It's not going to change. If God shows you those red flags, if He shows you who that person is, and it may not be for you right then and there, God may have a step for another time. But His timing is His timing, and we get ahead of that a lot. And the other thing I was going to say, a lot of times, because of the flesh, we put ourselves in these positions, you know, and then we just have to be strong enough to say, hey, you know, if I go and he wants me to come over his house every night, and I'm sitting here till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm setting myself up for failure. You can say you're strong as you want to be. You know, the Bible says, you know, that the flesh is weak. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So I think a lot of times we have to, like I said, set the standards. We have to watch the positions that we allow ourselves to be in. You know, then we beat ourselves up. You know, and then that's all I pretty much want to say about it. You know, stop overlooking these things. God is putting right before your face. Yeah. And a prime example of that, I'm sure really quickly, is it was a while back, and I met this guy at a little H Mart. And a couple of you guys know the story. And I started talking to him on the phone. Never went out on a date with him or anything. We're talking every day. He was praying with me before I went to bed every night. But there was something about it, something in my spirit. Even though he was praying every night, there was something in my spirit that just did not connect. So I never went out on a date with him. Never did. We just kept talking on the phone. He was talking about he was mentoring these guys, these little boys that at church. And he doesn't want to know. But again, there were flags to say something is not right. So he asked me, could we go out on a date together? And he wanted to go hiking. And I said, hiking? I don't know. You ain't going to the woods. So we ended it. I went to visit my brother's church about a month, maybe around a month later. And my brother's pastor pulled me aside. She's not the one she wanted to talk to me. So our hardware response said, no, this is just for her. She pulled me on the side and just sat there. She knew nothing about me. My brother didn't even know I was talking to me. She said that relationship that you were in, there was a danger in that. Oh my gosh. She said God stopped that relationship because as you went forward with it, there would have been some trouble. Amen. So I just say, when you listen to God, follow your heart, just be wise. I love it. That was excellent.
Thank you, Sharon. That was so good. Hiking, chopping about it. That's great. Really quickly, on this topic, I wanted to kind of say two things. Now, I fully see the importance of not separating God out of the dating thing. Because we may have grown up in a churchy, religious mindset, it was kind of shunned upon, that, single people y'all dating, especially when you get to a certain age, they don't really talk about it, they don't really support it, you know what I'm saying? It's really kind of taboo in the church, right? And so that's crazy because as Pastor said, God created relationships. Remember, everything that we see in the natural is a representation of what God established in the spirit. Because He needs us to understand. So when He gives us the example of relationship with husband and wife and amongst family and friends, He's giving us a glimpse of, a tangible example of the relationships that He has developed with Him, or He wants us to have with Him. You get what I'm saying? So relationship is a good thing. But the thing is, we can't go into this dating thing without God. We cannot separate the two. And I have to be honest in stating that I was separating the two. I was just kind of like, okay, boyfriend is over here and this is my life as, elder over here. Because I didn't really understand the need to bring the two together. But why? If God is calling somebody to be in your life, then why would there need to be any separation? And the thing is, because everybody's trying to put you in the trick bag, y'all know that's my term. We deal with reality television and the representatives on social media, but we also deal with them in real life. People are faking all the time. When you sit across the table from people, you are sitting across from the representative because everybody's trying to put their best foot forward and they don't want you to know they're crazy as hell. And so the thing is, it takes time and discernment. And if you are pushing God away from this area of your life, how then are you operating in discernment? How then are you doing that? How then are you, if you're not seeking God for his guidance and Holy Spirit, is this who you have for me? I don't want to waste any time. I want who you have for me. And so let me clearly see. So we're pushing and moving forward in something that we haven't really sought God for, and we're rushing things along. Your judgment gets clouded when you start sleeping together. You know what I'm saying? You can't get your head clear because you all wound up in something else. But you know what I'm saying? Is if we just take our time and look to God and look for his leadership, he will definitely give it to us. But the thing is, we got to go into it with our eyes wide open, right? And the second thing that I wanted to say was in reference to what Pastor said about the whole dustpan analogy. That was so stinking good. That is completely scriptural. Because we have to remember that the sex piece that God designed for marriage is a covenant. He doesn't even look at you being married when you put the ring on each other's finger. He looks at marriage when you consummate, when you have sex. And so if you are then developing these covenants with all these random people, two becoming one, interchanging, spirits intertwining, if you just with the hookup, and then you with another hookup, and they with their hookups, can you imagine all that you are receiving into your body, men and women? You know what I'm saying? If we teach relationships and teach about this truthfully from the Word of God, it will open our eyes to a lot. I didn't hear about that until I was way into my adult life. I did not understand that whole aspect. That's truth. Yeah. That's the reality. So, if you sit there and you're like, oh my God, I'm crazy. Okay, well guess what? You just never crazy.
Yeah, now you crazy.
So now you're crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The thing is, this is all intertwined. But if we are honest and teach that, you know what I'm saying? It will give you a little bit of pause and say, you know what, let me take my time. Because this is real out here. Remember, what we don't see is greater than what we do see. This spiritual thing is way greater than this physical thing. Amen?
Amen.
That's good. That's good. Pastor, did you want to see the second topic because of time? Did you want to go to the third one instead? So the second topic was how to balance serving God and sexual temptation. Right? So we were going to segue into that. I feel like we kind of touched on that throughout just with the first question. So then the next topic is body shaming. Body shaming. Anybody want to kick that off?
Listen, I've been chunky all my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, chunky.
Kick it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick that off because I know because it's a situation. Like I had to, and it was way into my adult life that I actually looked in the mirror and was like, "You chunky, been chunky, and this is what you gonna be." Get comfortable with it, But I didn't have when I think my era, the social media was just coming up, so it wasn't like. It wasn't like I was looking at people online, but I would look at my girlfriends, I would look at the girls at school who I would see, and they would come in there and, go through all these changes because I had larger breasts or, my thighs were thicker and I was short, so, we just get a whole bunch of stuff for that. And then, but I was like, and my mother sent me to like modeling school. She sent me to charm school. She was doing everything she could do to try to get me to be comfortable in my skin. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I finally got comfortable in my skin. And I just felt like whenever I see girls today that have that problem, like I just want to snatch them. And and just kind of pull them in and try to help them get it. It's so hard doing that though, because social media is what they know. Like that's all they know. They don't know. They're not really worried about well, I guess they could be, but not as much as they are looking at social media and they looking at Demi Lovato and her body's boom, and they looking at Beyonce and she hitting and holding and all that kind of stuff. They looking at that and like that's how I should be. But you have to look in that mirror and be one with it. Look at your mama. You know what I mean? I'm being real surface with this because that was one thing that I learned and I had to turn it around on my girls. I'm like, look at your mother and that's what's happening. It's your bloodline. It's the way that's who you are. Look at your girlfriend's mother. If she's this is how she's gonna look. I'm sorry, I can't take back. I can't take back what my mama gave me. You can't take back, but guess what? You are super beautiful anyway. So, but I think Rob used to tell Evan, look, get butt naked and look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. That is like the hardest thing ever to do. That's the hardest thing to do. But it was the best thing that I ever could do. It was like the life-changing piece that made me, like I went into a metamorphosis with it because I became one with it. And to be honest, they body shaming at work. You know what I mean? They body shaming. I was saying they're body shaming in my age as well. At work, they doing that all over. That's not just in school. That's just not with millennials. Yeah, that's just life. So I think it adds in everything that we talk about. It's about you being comfortable in your skin and claiming yourself, like claiming who you are, standing flat-footed and being okay with it. Because the minute that I got comfortable with me, then when they came at me, they was like, oh shoot. Now they see me, they be like, oh, you doing it now. Oh, that's what you doing? Oh, okay. And so now mind you, those friends walked away from me because they can't take that. You gotta be under them. You know what I'm saying? You can't be better than them, or you can't have too much confidence and portray yourself as being, like you love yourself. I love me. You can talk about me. You can talk about my dark skin, talk about my dirty hair. You can do whatever. But guess what? I'm cute. I'm cute. And I had to, that took a long time for me to get. That took a very long time for me to get. And it happens so much out here that it hurts my heart so much because the girls, they do so much to try and it's body shame. Like when you get down to the minute, it's body shaming, but they go through so much so you don't do that. Like they turn to drugs. People, they commit suicide. They don't everything. It's so many things because I work in the juvenile system. These girls and they do everything just because they want you to like them. That piece, I ask God daily, like it has to be something that we can do that can be put into these young females. And I don't know if the guys go through it. I really don't. But the females, we go through that, and that's a serious thing. But my suggestion to you, even as an adult, is you look in that mirror, deal with the mirror, deal with that mirror. That takes a minute. That's who you can worry about. It ain't them. It's you. You know what I'm saying? It's you being comfortable in you. You have to be comfortable with you. You got what I'm saying?
Oh, you did something.
No, and you're exactly right, but mine, I had to go through mine differently because I'm small. I never hit puberty, and I can't look at my mother and say, I'm gonna look like I got mine from my father straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? so mine was like, dang, I was like, oh, I ain't get no puberty. I don't have those nonsense songs like everybody else. I would look around and was like, why am I not gonna get it?
You know, and the guys that I would deal with, they tried to change me. They was like, well, when do you want to do this? And when is your body going to do this? And when, and then for a while, I even looked, one guy that I dealt with, I looked in the mirror and it was something, I was talking to Joyce, I would see something totally different. I wouldn't even see myself. I seen myself, I seen a preacher. I would see something in the spirit that was not it. But that's what I allowed in my mind because of what other people said, and that's what I thought I looked like. I am who I am. And it took me until I got here, basically. I started learning and growing into myself when I got here. I mean, I don't think if I never got here, I would have known the truth about myself. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. I'm in my business. But I don't need no more because I'm the best way I'm the best. I'm good. I have an high thyroid. They go boom, 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 boom. And I know I can't do it. I can't do it. So if I look the other way like this, I'd have lost that way. And I'm trying to go back and get some of that way because then I can't pull my clothes out. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, I had to wear 16. You know, I had to go and get some of them little girls' clothes. So what? I don't care if y'all ain't with me. That's what I had to do. See what I'm saying? When I got older, I had to, wear a certain type of clothes so I could feel like I got the little bumps. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it is. And social media and men don't help you. Like, I want something big, and I'm not sick, and I'm not gonna get big, and I can make some potatoes, and I'm still not gonna get big. I am who I am, and I ain't gonna get no big. You know what I'm saying? I hate to go like this. I have to look in my mirror. Sometimes it comes back up, but I push it back down. I get people pushing it down because it's in your mind. It is, and mine's terrible things. That transition back home. You have to constantly, these young girls in school, and when they have to go through and have to, compete, I'm not competing with you. I'm not doing that. I'm so sorry.
That's good.
For the day when you have to compete, I'm not competing with you. I can't compete with you.
That's it.
If that's what you want, you're going to go get it anyway. So there's nothing I can do. I am who I am, and either God trying to do things for me differently. I might not have all of this, but I have other things. You know what I'm saying? So, but I have to be confident in it. And when I walk, I have to lift my head and stop looking down. Because I did that night. I'm not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? That comes from abuse. It's just a whole lot of stuff that brings it on to you, and you don't really get to see what God. And I always ask, God, let me see me how you see me. And then I'll be all right. But I'm serious. I've learned that here. And I pray that these children don't, I just wish people could, like Bob said, we could just get us and hold them and let them see. It's not about them. It's not about what that boy said, because they are boys. They don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's not about what that man did to you over there or what he did. It's what God says and how God created you. So what? I don't care going down my head. And she don't even when she takes the tracks out. I'm saying, so it's not about that. And if you want to buy your head, buy your head. That's all.
That's real good.
I feel like we need to take up another offer.
Right. She hit that.
Yeah. And body shaming can also relate to envy. So say you have a girlfriend and you don't like the way she's acting, and then you just break up with her and you get another girlfriend. That previous girlfriend like, oh no, she don't have this, I had this. She her butt is small, mine was big. I don't know why he wanted her. He wants her because he loves her. Not because of her body, or maybe it is because, but yeah. And right, and so you can still have a nice body and be insecure, and it's called fishing for compliments.
Girls say that.
Okay.
Or you could have a nice body and rock it, and you're being conceited, or you're being labeled, and I'm not gonna say that, but you're being labeled.
Say it.
And it's wrong. It's no purpose for you. If you love yourself, It's not being conceited because you love yourself. You love yourself because you're confident in yourself, and you love yourself because you do. You've learned to love yourself. I'm not going to let you bring me down because you're insecure or you feel jealous of me. I'm not going to stoop to your level. I'm not going to be insecure because you're insecure. You're not going to make me be insecure.
That body's as Pastor might say, it does go from men to, that does Pastor wife, it goes from men to, I remember growing up, I had this thing, you wouldn't believe this at all, I'm skinny, y'all wouldn't believe it at all, I'm the smallest to me. But for the longest time, I remember coming up in middle school, when you get gym, you got to change in front of people at the gym. I wasn't that child, I wore my gym clothes under my uniform then. Because everybody had an athletic body. And if I took off my shirt, you would see my bone, my rib cage, everything. And one day I didn't have my uniforms like that. And a guy came, one of the dudes, the ignorant ones came up and said, "Dang, bro, you skinny." And it broke me down to the point where I was like, I don't know how to fight this back because I am skinny. But for the longest, that stuck with me through high school. Even till today, I can look in the mirror, I can get naked in the mirror and I see my bone, my collarbones. And it's to a point now, I'm like, yeah, I'm skinny. I don't care. So what? I like food, but I'm so skinny. My metabolism makes me skinny. But I noticed, I reached out to the young man. He found me rather on Facebook not too long ago. And we had a conversation. He doing okay, shaky but okay. And I brought up the topic of why he thought that I was skinny. And he said, because my doctors always told me I was overweight and I wanted to be small like you. And I said, well, actually some words came after, but I pray for forgiveness. That's what I wanted to say about it. But I said, why do you put your insecurity on me? He said, I knew no other way to do it. A lot of times that body shame, Melissa and I said that insecurity plays that role. As Pastor Wife said, she had the curves, maybe that girl wanted them, but she couldn't get them. So she was stuffing her bra, putting old socks in her drawers type thing. And at least those cosmetic surgeries. Oh, I look a certain way, my nose is too big, let me get slim. My breasts are too small, I'm getting bigger, butt injections, all these things. Now they got things that need replacements that get taller. You come up with a lot of things to change yourself for people, for the world, but as you said, you see God, show me how you see it. Not how the words, not even how I see it. I see myself as skinny, nappy-headed person, but I get in the back of the head a little bit. Right? But when I sat down by myself not so long ago when I got sick in the hospital bed when the doctor took off all your clothes. I was like, well, first of all, we don't do this in this place here. She said, no, I'm gonna change your clothes for you. And when I got naked, she sat in the chair and I saw bones in my leg. I've never seen that before until I got out of the hospital bed. I was like, God, I need to eat something. Right? And the nutritionist came in, she said, no matter what you eat, you're gonna see those bones, that's your body type, that's your frame. She said, get used to it because they ain't going nowhere. I told her to get out, I'm not gonna lie. And I had to reassess it though. I had to say, okay, if this is me, how can I change for somebody else? And myself said, shut up, be you. They don't have the insecurities, let them have it. They have to deal with that at that time, but you have to deal with the ones that you have now. That's why I personally got through my insecurities about my instance of body shape and things like that. But yeah.
So when it comes to body shaming, it's like most people don't realize it does start at like a really young age. I know for me it did. It started in like elementary school for me. Everybody always told me I was fat, I looked like a little bull, and all this, that, and third. So it took me years, like when I say years, I mean like a couple of years ago is when I actually got the confidence to be confident in my body, to be proud of who I am and what I am, and to walk with my head up. Yeah. It's like, regardless of whatever I did or like whatever relationship I was in, I always had my head down. I always wanted to cover up. But it's like, how I take it is, I love food. So I don't ever want to be skinny. And it's like, I always tell people like, oh well, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm like, I love my pudge. My pudge ain't going nowhere. My pudge is my best friend. Like, no, I like food. That's not going to stop me. I'm not going to try to go on a diet to do anything to change who I am. It's like, if you big and curvy, skinny and whatnot, embrace your body. Love who you are. Yes. That's what God made you to be. Love of yourself. Love who you are.
Amen. That's real good.
And real quick, I'm sorry.
So my body shaming came from people.
putting words, on me or I guess against me. Because I've heard all my life certain things, like you said, I'm thick. And I wanted God to show me somebody in my family. Like I couldn't be my mother. My mother's tall and slender like short. But on my dad's side, my grandmother is thick and short. When I saw her, I was like, okay, that's me. I'm built exactly like her. And like Cheryl said, it was not until I got here that I really had to love me. And that's crazy, but that's the truth. I had to get to the new life. God had to make sure I got the new life. So that Kathy could see herself the way God saw Kathy versus the words that were put on Kathy. And I said, God, He brought back to my remembrance. I don't know if you guys was on, I don't know if it was Bible study or prayer agreement. Apostle said she saw me and she was drawing this coat. And I went to her house and got the picture of that coat. And God told me, don't ever put that coat on again. Because in that coat was everything else, everybody else had said. So, body shaming is real. I don't know what was worse for me, body shaming because of other people's world, or body shaming I was putting my own self. Sometimes we can put body shaming of our own selves. Instead of, again, like you said, looking in the mirror and just being confident in who you are, the way God made you, and loving it and being comfortable in it.
And it's all about acceptance and love. You have to accept yourself in order to be comfortable. There's a difference between being insecure and just wanting to lose weight. Some people want to lose weight because they want to be healthier than they already are. Or if they're not healthy, they want to be healthy. Insecure is, oh, I see her body looking like this, my body does not look like this, I need to look like this. And then once you do, it's not going to change anything because you didn't accept yourself. You're doing it so you can get accepted by others.
And, I just wanted to say when Kathy mentioned others, that was another one of my issues. My family, like my mother would say, you ain't putting them ham hocks out. And so I always had like this phobia with showing my legs because my mother would always put that on. So listen, that was hurtful then. She didn't really realize, I think she felt like she was trying to protect me and cover me. But after a while then I realized that's what it was. And she did it way into my adulthood. I think after I met Rob, and I don't even know if he was married or not, he was like, look, tell your mother to be quiet. You know what I mean? And I was like, you daggone 30-something years old, you know what I mean? And she was telling me about what I should and should not wear. So that was real good. I forgot about that piece because I'm so over it today that I forgot that piece. That was a main piece, and I'm looking at her. I don't really look like her, in body because she has a smaller frame. But I never saw the other side of the family to see who I was like. So, but like when I look at my girlfriend, she shaped just like her mother. And this, and so, but I never really got that piece. I never got the other side of the family to see where my body came from. So God totally helped me because I didn't have nothing to go back to and say, oh, okay, that's where it came from. Boom. I just had to get confidence.
Let me say something real quick. I was going to say that too. Our main about our family. Hurt begets pain, hurt, and so forth and so forth. And even in our culture, in our families, we get around and we go into negative talk. Everybody loves negative talk, and you know this. Yeah. If you're doing good, you out there with a Rolls Royce, we don't want to praise that. Right. We want to see when you're going to fall or the negative side of why you got that or how you get that. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So it's been brought up in families. Yeah. And it goes like the body shaming. And even, I ain't going to say body, but just as it's a mental disorder. Because hurt has been put on hurt, on top of hurt, on top of hurt. And if you notice, even it's in Southern for some reason, I don't know what it is. It's a slave mentality. If I've been put down, then I'm gonna put you down. And then in return, you're gonna grab that up, you're gonna put your child down. But it starts at the basis, because I never put Bradley down, none of Jamie, Jeremiah, never. Okay? Because as a parent, why would I put especially my daughter down? my son now, talking about their weight, their size, that's not a concern of mine. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, you want your child to be healthy, and yes, as a parent, you conduct them in a healthy manner. You know what I'm saying? So they can grow up healthy. But if I see my son is big, he wears a size 13, I give him 14 shoes. You see his size today, right? Yeah. He big. I got family that's huge. Why would I talk about his size? You understand what I'm saying? To make him feel a certain way. He's a healthy young man. He's a handsome guy. And I put him on blast every time. Because the girls at the school. Girls at the school. It's a problem. But anyway, and it bothers me, especially like I said, in our culture, we so quick to go into negativity about our children. I don't know why it is, and I believe it's the slave mentality, and it's the hurt and the pain. Because I would never body shame or talk about my own child. And it starts at home. It starts at home. I know we hear it outside, but in home, if girls have grown up and said, like you say, you got hand hops. I'm like, what was you know my hand hops? Bro, I'm telling you on what. And talk about their size, their breasts, this and that. God created this. And if y'all have noticed, I'm able to jump in, new life has changed, right? Yeah. Each and every person in here, their physical feature has changed. Once you know who you are and God gets a hold of that, He gives you a spiritual plastic surgery.
He does. Amen.
Has it not changed since you started? And like you said, it just started a couple of years ago when you started. Yes. I'm looking at your daughters. I look at you. Yes. God has given y'all a spiritual plastic surgery.
Oh my God, Jesus, yes.
And it's so amazing to what He does and how He does. But it hurts my heart when I hear things like that. When I hear parents talk about their children and talk about, and even as adults, you still have that same mind when your mama said you was fat.
That's true.
You never gonna meet nobody because you look this way. You ain't gonna meet anybody because you too dark, or you too light, or you too fat, or you too, you tall like your dad, and you this and that. Like, it's their pain, and they get that pain to you.
Yes. Jesus.
And I love this discussion because we're stopping that.
Yes, amen.
So generational, we stopping that. Everybody in here is beautiful. Yes. Nobody is ugly, and be honest, I really haven't seen nobody that was ugly that I would say, oh, he's ugly. You know what I'm saying? Y'all may see, I don't see that, because God is showing me that y'all may say, okay, they ugly. But God created that. And God has, look, I hear what y'all saying. But that ugly person, when I even seen females that I thought wasn't attractive, but as soon as they started talking, the personality came out. Y'all see what I'm saying? Even men that you may call bubble lip, and lip pink, and big, and pink lip, and they got a big loose head, and all that. But the brother started talking. He started talking to you. Look how he soft and loving. And that changes his whole demeanor. That's true. Y'all get what I'm saying? That changes their whole demeanor. So don't tell me what God won't do and how He won't transform us. And I thank God for us stopping that. And it's generational curses that keep carrying on. And God is stopping it. Stopping it right now. Because nobody's ugly. To me, nobody's ugly. Now, they in their heart may be ugly. That's what turns you ugly. But I'm not the physically. God created you. That DNA came from that parent. But because I'm a part of my mother's birth. You understand? I came through a canal. In the world, I'm her child. But God put this forth and put me here for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? You may have DNA of your dad because of your physical feature, but you birthed your mother's DNA for a reason why you're sitting here and you like taking twists and
Amen.
You're not your daddy, you're not your mom. That's right. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a reason here. Now we look at ourselves like, oh, I got a purpose. I know who I am. Now you may resemble them because of DNA, because you came from them. But I'm not my mother. I'm not my father. You understand what I'm saying? So now, and of course you have body shame when you're young, because you're adolescent, you don't know. I had body shame because I saw dudes skinny and I'm chubby and all this. And I got to a point where, you know what? You can't undress me. I'm over here talking to your girl over here. So right. Right. So I may be all this chubby, but I got confidence. You know what I'm saying? I got confidence in myself because I know who I am. And I didn't at that time. I didn't know who I was, but I knew it was something. I knew something was there. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm sitting there talking to you, the girl over there talking to you. Y'all got what I'm saying? And your shoes run over, but my shoes. You know what I mean? But that's as an adolescent in school, and that's the way I look at it. But now as an adult, now I see it. And I still guys, they built, I said, oh man, he big, but he lost. And he's slow. So look at the ladies get excited about him, and he dumps about it. You need to sit down, let's sit down and talk so we can talk. You understand what I'm saying? Because your mind is all over the place and you don't. The only thing you focusing on is on your path. You can't give nobody nothing with this class like that. Okay, that's not giving nobody one thing. Alright, I'm gonna cut this off. Go ahead, Chris.
So this is gonna be our last comment. Wrap it up.
Okay.
Okay, so my comment is twofold. One is, I don't think as a parent we realize that we're body shaming our children. As a young parent, being a teenage mom, I grew up with, I was small, I didn't gain weight, so I got to my last child, I gained a lot of weight. I was always small, and so, oh, you're getting kind of fat, by my extended family. However, as my children were growing, I realized, so just then, that I body shamed my children. I did that by putting them into sports activities, cheerleading. My son was small, so I put him in football to make him bulk up. My daughters were getting kind of chunky, so I put them in cheerleading to help them slim them down. We don't realize that we're doing things to contribute to their body shaming. We don't realize we're doing things to contribute to our own body shaming because of things that were said to us. It is, I think, a learned behavior. However, there are getting from social media and so forth. And I mean, it's something that we all have to learn and work on. We do it to each other subconsciously, we don't even know we're doing it. I even said to my husband the other day, when you go to work on that stomach, going to see the doctor about that stomach, you know, we don't realize that not knowing that I'm body shaming him. And even when I was talking to my daughter this morning, get dressed, I was like, oh, I want to go to Sonoma, go check out my stomach look bad and so forth. Try to lose some of this weight because I'm not happy with what I see in here. And then she's there and listening, and she's looking at herself, and she's saying, hey, look, about herself. We do it and we don't realize we're doing it. And that's something we all have to learn that, you know, everyone is watching. Everyone is listening to what you're saying about yourself, and then they start evaluating their own selves and what they're doing or how they look. I love my body. However, there's things that I want to work on. And that's just for me.
Right.
And that's just something I want to do. However, I want to apologize to my family for making them feel a certain way for the comments I made on my action.
That's good. That's good.
It wasn't intentional. Now that I know, I'm going to say it.
That's good.
That's an excellent way to close out. So Pastor, we don't turn it back over to you.
Something too that I didn't realize either, and the same thing with you, with Anaya. And Anaya, I'm the first to say, please forgive me. A lot of times, Anaya will walk past and we say certain things to her, and not just that we allow. Like my mom will say, Anaya, you're gonna push yourself back from the table. You've always had that small body. You're gonna be big like your mom. And I didn't realize that what she said is really hurtful. And I didn't realize when I say Anaya, you get her stomach there, and then I would see her like looking in the mirror, you know, she's working out, and she's trying to do this extra so that she can get this body because everybody's saying it. So forgive me, Anaya, and I won't allow anyone else to say that to her. And I didn't realize that, so I'm so thankful.
Yes, that's so good.
I didn't realize that.
Amen. Amen. Oh my God.
Because we do things knowing and unknowing. And then it's haphazard, and like you said, subconsciously we doing things, we're saying things out loud, and not knowing, oh, that's hurting my child, that's hurting my grandbaby, that's hurting, you know what I'm saying? My brother, sister, our husbands, or whatever. Because if he want to lose, he ain't going to lose him. He ain't going to lose him. And I feel like the Bible said, lose this, don't you? Right? But that's just true. And we do that. And like you said, we do it unconsciously. And we need to be aware of what we say, how we say things in our house. Because to me, the house is safe. That's home land. You know what I'm saying? Home is safe because it's hell out here in the world. You hear so much, you see so much, even on, like you said, social media, whatever said. Brandon told me so many stories at school and things that, but home, now I can get it out, I can let it out. It's safe. I don't need to be criticized. I don't need to be put down. I can talk to my mother, father, uncle, grandmother, whoever's in the house, and I can sit down. Now, I can breathe. Now I can hear something. And that's why we all have to be in tune and stay in tune in God.
Yeah.
That's where we lose the fact, because then we take it into our own mind and go somewhere else. But if we put God ahead of all of that, put him the head, the first of it, he takes control of all of that. And I thank God, but I'm not saying that, I say it because I've seen it in our household. Even Ebony came over last night and she go, boom, she went right to sleep. She said, so peaceful, quiet. I said, no, it's peaceful, quiet. Going to God, boom, she's knocked out. We got a baby in the bedroom. She's out. And I'm looking, I said, it's God right now. I'm not doing that. Robert's not doing that. You understand what I'm saying? God is doing that because we have allowed and gave permission. God, you're going to run this house. You're going to control all of this. You understand? Because we're not going to have the issues. We're not going to have the emotional issues. We're not going to have put downs in the house. We're not going to be sad in this house. We're going to be happy in this house. Even if we go in the house and we don't have to say anything to each other, we go to our own spots. Peace in the house for everybody. You all understand what I'm saying? And everything is calm. I can go in there and check on Brandy, make sure, here I got to check on, y'all see him, but he not home. So I bust in the door all the time. That's what he do all the time. Because I got to check him and make sure he good, but that's just as a dad, and I got to go in there, make sure he ain't doing something. But God, I allow God to take control of it. So it's peace in the house. And when something off, I'm like, Rob, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get that together. Because I ain't going to have no disorder. Because I allow God, as the head, he's the head, to take control of all that. Yeah. And then once he does that, and even times, and using Brad's example, he said, when I'm getting on about school or something he's doing that he needs to straighten up on, I allow God to control what I say, so I won't speak out of anger. And then when I speak out of anger, now I'm speaking out of Rob, and something negative will come out of my mouth towards him. You know what I'm saying? Everything I say has to be a positive, and it's positive because I know what he can do and I know his ability. So that's the God showed me that. Boom, boom, boom. Give him that, give him that, give him that. Even we had a discussion on the phone on the ride home, he was talking to me, and I was telling him that, and he was like, all right, I hear you, all right, I hear you. And God was just giving me that word to say. Because of the friends that he's connected with. You know what I'm saying? People that he connected with. And he needs to see who he's connected with, that goes on to him. Because people see him, and they see that person, man, he ain't did nothing. But that other person has done something, now they're going to put them together. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't need to be a part of it. Even though you think that's your friend, y'all cool, we just wilding. I said, no, wilding escalates to something else. You understand what I'm saying? And God was showing me the word. Because I would have been on dating to my own self and be like, you know what I'm saying? But God showed me, you give that word. This is the word I want you to give. And now it's peace, now it's the understanding part. Because I'm wanting the understanding, and I'm not coming just from an old person, old mindset. You know what I'm saying? This comes from God, now it's peace, now he can understand it, and he can see it visually of what's going on. Amen. So we have to allow God to interact in everything. Relationships, dating, friendships. We have to put God in everything. I know it sounds holy, and I thought it was crazy at first when people said put God in everything, but now I see it. God has to interact, even the clothes that we put on. You understand what I'm saying? Even to the cosmetics that women put on, even the loads of stuff that we put on our, you know what I'm saying, bodies, things like that. And I didn't realize that. Because somebody else's hand was a part of that. And I don't know who they were. You understand? That's why I love the body brothers, because I know that's anointed and I put it in the tongue. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't know who's touching that. Even go to our food, that when we go into a restaurant, we pray over our food, because I have no idea who's back there and preparing my meal that I'm going to take on my body. And I know it may sound crazy or you're going too far, bro, but no. God got to control all of that. Who even I may touch or something may rub, I got God, because spiritually, like you just said. If we saw the spirit realm, it'd be hectic and crazy. That's flying all over the place and doing so much. But once we allow God to control that, then like I'm on the train and people, I got somebody the devil standing right there at me, and he eyeballing me the whole time. I said, okay, here we go. We're not going to do that today. Okay, we're not going to do that today. Okay, devil, so go ahead. Turn around, we'll look at the floor, but we're not going to do that today.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We have to allow God to put God forward in everything. I know it sounds repetitive, but it is the truth.
So true.
I'm speaking from experience in every aspect of our life. Even single, like I said, when we talk about dating, even our flesh, even getting, you know what I'm saying, putting ourselves in certain circumstances where we know our flesh is going to get loose. You know what I'm saying? We got to put God in there, and we got to shut it down immediately, because he can get loose in 1 second. Our minds will go 1 second, and we somewhere, like you said, butt naked, swinging off the chandelier on the top of the door, and come on, how did I get here? What's that song? What's the name? How did I end up here? How did I get here? Lord did. And then we asking God for forgiveness the whole ride home. Crying and snotting. Why did I do this to myself? In the kitchen crying, God, why did I do this? But we need to allow God in everything we do, every little thing that we think is even minute, we got to put God. We're going to close this out. Thank God for y'all. I thank God for this discussion. Things that come out. It's a reason why we do it. It's a reason. God has his reason.
He does.
And he's moving in all of this. Amen?
Amen.
And it's going to grow, it's going to get bigger. I thank God for everybody's participation, even young people participating. And it was awesome topics that came up.